Hello, JoeSixPack. Surprise, we're back. I bet you didn't expect we would be back, considering we finished the last Wheel of Weekly Challenge spin last week. Did you think we would be back, Hero? You gotta talk about it.
Yeah.
You did think we would be back?
No.
No. I didn't think we'd be back either, but I decided it's been too long since we've had something going on during the bye week for the teams that make the bye. So I'm introducing the new Week 15 Weekly Challenge, which is bye, bye, bye. At least we think it will be. Do you think it'll land on that, Hero?
Yeah.
I guess we got to spin the wheel to make it official. It's not a real weekly challenge if we don't spin the wheel, right? Yeah. All right. You want to give that wheel a good old spin? There it goes. Spin that wheel. Look at those beautiful boys from that band. NSYNC. They're all old men like me now. Hey, bye, bye, bye. That's right. Those beautiful young men say that it's bye, bye, bye this week. So that means that the top scoring bye week team is going to win $20. That means there's only 2 contenders because we're not counting the toilet bowl bye week teams. That's dumb. That would be dumb. Joe, Lou, Big Lou, no. But Matt and Jason, you get to play for $20 this week. Who will have the highest scoring bye week team? Do you think it'll be Matt or do you think it'll be Jason, Hero?
Jason.
It probably will be Jason. Matt's going to be sad you said that, though. But it probably will.
It probably will be Jason.
Yeah. My head says Jason. My heart says Matt. But who knows? Maybe he could pull it off. You know? Maybe he could win that $20. He gets a bye week either way, so it's going to be working out good for him. So, all right, everyone. Now it's time for us to say bye, bye, bye. Hero?
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, 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 bye. Bye, everybody. This probably will be the last actual challenge. Later.
And maybe you can make another one, yeah?
Maybe. We'll see.
JoeSixPack.
Hello, JoeSixPack. I have returned after a few weeks in a row of not doing podcasts because my weeks were insane. A lot of work, going to a conference in Vegas, had a good time, somehow won money playing poker. Not a lot. Bled it all back out the days after that, but it was a good time. Yeah, it was a good time. Had a good time in Vegas. The conference was good. Nobody cares about that, though. What we're here to talk about is the JoeSixPack Fantasy Playoffs that we are heading into in an exciting Week 15. We were down to the wire last week for the teams to make the playoffs, and there were a lot of upsets. A lot of upsets, in fact. Most of them were mostly meaningless, except for one key one, which I will get to shortly. But now let's just jump right into it. Maybe someone will come and join me. Maybe not. We will find out. If someone joins me, that would be cool. If not, it's also fine. I'm used to living inside my little cave all by myself. As you all probably may have noticed by now, I am wearing my JSN jersey, as I have been wearing it constantly, as he is going to lead me to playoff glory. I can only imagine and hope. There we go. Okay, it is sharing. I was unsure. Okay, here we go. So we were down to it last week. All right, the only person heading into last week that had clinched. I wish I could look at our standings from last week. The only person who had clinched was Jason. He was the only person that knew for certain that he was going to be making the playoffs. Let's look at the standings as they are now. A lot of these teams were 7 and 6. A lot of these teams were 8 and 5, or 7 and 6. A lot of teams were 7 and 6. Is my point. And then Kevin was the only one who had a slight chance, I guess, of taking Jason, but there was basically no chance because he was not catching Jason's score. So Jason was locked in, winning week 1, winning the Trogies off George Pendant Brewing division, my division, the best division in our league. Jason wins it. So congratulations to him. That was a foregone conclusion. Where I ended up, where Kevin ended up, and where, let's see, Matt. I guess Matt had his division locked up too. I take that back. Matt had his division locked up as well. So congratulations, Matt. You entered last week having your division locked up as well. Congratulations to you. Moving on, though, everyone else, it was up in the air. Andrew, we doing this again. My Chrome keeps glitching out whenever I'm screen sharing, and it's driving me insane. Okay, we're back again. Stupid Chrome. All right, so a lot of shit going on. A lot of things that were up in the air. Lou was up in the air. Sean's playoff berth was up in the air. Peter's technically was up in the air. Yeah, Pete would have maybe made playoffs if he had. Well, let's get to it. Let's just get to it. Let's jump right in. We'll start with my game against Sean because I needed to win to make the playoffs. To guarantee I made the playoffs. It would have been a little tight if I ended up at 8-7 or 7-7 instead of 8-6. Thank God I picked up Joe Burrow for I think $1 American, just a few weeks, like a couple weeks before he came back. Yes, $1 American, over Seth, who was going for $0 on being too stingy. Seth, I know you had no money. Because Joe has been killing it for me the last 2 weeks. Very happy with that, and I'm hoping he will be a big boon to my team going forward. Sean basically got a whole bunch from RJ Harvey. I got negative points from Bashal Tootin. JT's been scaring me because this is the third week in a row where he's only gotten pedestrian running back numbers, not I'm going to murder the rest of your fantasy league numbers, which is really what I really need of him. And now he's without his quarterback. So that's concerning. And he's going up against the Seahawks this week. And his new quarterback might be Felipe Rios, coming back from 5 years of retirement for some reason to play for the Colts. He does have an entire football team he can bring just in his 11 children. So there is that. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor only did okay for me. RJ Harvey did huge for Sean, but kind of just a middling performance. I mean, a big performance from DK Metcalf for him, and obviously a big performance from my boy JSN, who continues his run as the number one wide receiver for the Seahawks and for the fantasy league and for the real league and in my heart. Jamar Chase, somewhat pedestrian, but T. Higgins got all the run and they got injured. So I'm hoping that's going to be a boon for me going forward, that duo. Kyle Pitts has continued to be great while Drake London is out, and more on that in a little bit too, because that was a key factor that will continue to play. The biggest key factor, though, the thing that made me happy is sitting in a cigar bar in Vegas, watching this game going on as kickers are just kicking and kicking and kicking. But my kicker put up, my boy Aubrey, putting up 5 field goals, one of them for 60 plus, two for 50 plus. Wild. Just one of his best nights kicking, and I needed it. And then Pittsburgh let me down a little bit, but that's fine. I have them mostly picked up for the next few weeks. Sean could have played Vidal. He probably should have played. He's not on here, but Omarion Hampton, who came back and got 15 points. But in the end, it wouldn't have mattered. I'm happy to have Dalton Kincaid coming back. He may be playing for me next week. In the end, I unfortunately knocked Sean out of playoffs. I take no pleasure in that. And I'm sorry about that, Sean. But you were a necessary cog in me making the playoffs, so I can't be that upset. So I make it into the playoffs because one upset of the week was Jay-Z spoiling Kevin. Now, Kevin didn't get knocked out of the playoffs, mind you, but he brought him back down to my level and let me get second place in our division, which doesn't really change much because Kevin and I just flip-flopped seeds, basically. But it may have come into play if I did not have the score lead, which I don't know if I ended up. I'll have to look at it again. Kevin basically got bit by the fact that Daniel Jones tore his Achilles in the early part of that game, which is it's just so sad. I honestly feel bad for Daniel Jones. He's having such a resurgence. The Colts are having such a resurgence, and then down the tubes it goes. Very sad. Jahmyr Gibbs, monster game. Didn't like watching that one at the cigar bar, but good for him. I was sitting next to in that cigar bar. A quick aside, I was sitting next to. There was a Cowboy championship in town at the same time, so there were a bunch of Cowboys in the bar, like actual Cowboys and Cowboys fans in the bar, and that was fun. I wasn't going to argue them at that point. But I was sitting next to this big black dude who is hilarious, named Raj. I loved that guy. I was sitting next to Raj in the cigar bar, and he was a Commanders fan, although he will firmly say that he's actually I'll just say Arskins fan because I don't like saying the name anymore, but he's been a fan since the 80s. He's been a big fan of that team since the 80s. He's lived in DC his entire life, so I'm not going to hold that against him. He was ragging on the Cowboys, and next to him on the other side of him, so two people down from me, was a dude from Philly who was rooting for the Eagles, obviously. So I was talking to him about it. We were just having a good time. All of us, shooting the shit about the Cowboys and the Eagles and the Commanders, and me apologizing for the Seahawks continuing to severely injure their quarterbacks. He didn't mind. He said they all need to put more meat on their bones, as Raj would. That Raj. But yeah, it was a great time, and we all loved the fact that we had all those people from out of town, all the people that were rooting for NFC West teams, except there was no representation for the Giants because fuck the Giants, as anyone will agree, I think, here. Except for maybe Kevin, because his quarterback goes back to being Jackson Dart next week, so that'll be something. Anyway, but he got a huge play from Jahmyr Gibbs, huge play for Tony Pollard. Pedestrian play from all of his wide receivers, but that's Kevin's weakness. I think he would admit that, especially with Drake London out. That boon for me for Kyle Pitts hurting him there. Kevin had everyone on bye. It was the worst time for the weekly challenge of bench players because Kevin had literally no one to play from his bench. So once he gets Cedero McMillan back next week and Jackson Dart and not Drake London, wink. And Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, his wide receiver core will be good, much stronger, which he'll need, because he's going to be going against me, which we'll get to in a minute. John played Bo Nix, which was fine. He kind of stole him from Kevin, which was pretty funny. I don't think it would have swung anything. I don't think it would have swung anything, but he stole him from Kevin after Kevin dropped Drake London to his IR, and I thought that was just amusing early in the week because Kevin was upset by it. Chase Brown continued to be Chase Brown. Brookie Irving coming back, only getting 50% of the carries and of the snaps rather, and getting pretty good yardage. He's probably going to be in full form next week. Courtland Sutherland did fine. Jacoby Myers did fine. J-Mo did fine. Colson Loveland did fine. Brian Thomas even did fine. Jason Myers, another kicker I love for obvious reasons, also had a great game. Good kicks. And the Seahawks defense was really John's best player with 23 points from them for 2 interceptions. We had a touchdown, kick return touchdown. We just annihilated. We just throttled the hell out of the Falcons, and that was fun to watch. And I'm sure it was fun to watch from John too, because he gets to play semi-spoiler to Kevin, not making the playoffs himself with his 6-8 record, but beating Kevin and letting me get a seat moved up. So that was cool. So thanks, John. Thank you. Moving on, we also had... Oh, Pete won that game? Okay, he wouldn't have won. Okay, I'll just go over this real quick. Pete played Josh Allen. That was the right play because, holy hell, Jalen Hurts. Never has there been a man capable of throwing an interception and also having a fumble on the same play to sap away the last tiny bit of points he had. I am so glad I didn't take any of your trade offers for Hurts this year, Pete. That's all I really say for that, because this game ended up being meaningless. So, good luck next year, Pete. Don't draft 2 quarterbacks. And good luck not being Vinny. I think you can do it. Joe, I'm pretty sure is going to be Vinny. If Joe's not the Vinny, then We got a wild league. Another big upset though was Seth upsetting Matt. Now Matt did not need to win his division, so he was already locked in. But Seth did need to win for him to make the playoffs, and not only make the playoffs, win his division. Yes, win his division, which I'll get to the biggest upset in a moment. Seth was feeling pretty down after Jaden Daniels had a very weak showing in his first game back. But frankly, it's amazing that Jaden Daniels is playing again, because that dude's arm was backwards after the Seahawks were done with him. His arm was backwards. He dislocated his elbow, and he's back 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. It's wild. Absolutely wild. I'm rolling backwards. That's how wild it is. Blake Corum, an insane amount of points for Matt. I don't think he'll do it every game. But yeah, there's definitely more of a split between Blake Corum and Kieran Williams, which is pissing me off in my work league because I have Kyron, K. Williams. I never know which one it is. Travis Etienne continues to get big points, annoyingly, because I really want Bashal Tune to be something, but that's fine. And Michael Rice Wilson, is apparently able to be the best receiver on the Cardinals only when Marvin Jones Jr. is out. So I'm sure Seth is hoping that he is continuing to be out next week. We shall see. AJ Brown's had a good couple of weeks ever since he started bitching and complaining. Got good 3 weeks, yeah. Huge 3 weeks. It's unfortunate that they've lost all 3 of those games. Eagles. I really am rooting for you guys, though. Maybe it's time to not listen to AJ Brown. You guys are doing better when you weren't getting him involved. Dallas Goedert did. T. Higgins, as I said before, huge game with Joe Burrow back under center. I think he's been great both times Joe Burrow's been back, since he's been back. Just the one time. But yeah, huge game for T. Higgins. Matt got a lot of good value getting him. He's been getting a lot of good value from him recently. Unfortunately, T. Higgins is now questionable and may not play because he's still in concussion protocol right now. We shall see. But he'll get Christian McCaffrey back, and he probably can play Blake Corum in there. So Matt will be fine next week. If he even plays next week, he might have a bye. One of these two teams has a bye because each of these two teams won their division. And I'm not sure who won which. So we'll look at that in a second. But yeah, Seth, huge points from you. Matt only, I would have lost to Matt if I was playing him this week. So, good for you, Seth. And 21 points from the Miami Dolphins against the Jets. I would say who could see that coming, but yeah, you can see that coming. The Jets have been terrible. And Cleveland with only 0.85 points against Tennessee. That is also kind of wild. How does that happen? They were great the 2 weeks I played them. Anyway, moving on. Matt wins his division. Seth wins his division. That was a pivotal game. Congratulations to both of you. Division winners. And it looks like Matt is the one who gets that bye. So congratulations to Matt. So Jason gets bye number 1 with his 1936 points. 136 points. Son of a bitch. It's a lot of points. And Matt with nearly 200 points less than that to get to the second bye. 1744. And then Seth is a solid 100 points behind that, getting the 3rd seed. Now, what happened with the rest of the seeds, you might be wondering? Well, first we have to talk about Jason's game. He beat Andrew, and I don't think knocked him out of the playoffs. I'm pretty sure Andrew's still in the playoffs. We'll have to check that. But Andrew's probably regretting bringing Jason into the league at this point. He beat him for the championship last year, but I don't know. I don't know about the 3-peat. I don't know how loaded it seems. I'd be a little bit worried if I was Andrew, and a little bit regretting bringing Jason in. I think Jason's had a great year, though. Congratulations to you, sir. Your team still scares the shit out of me. I like that you were complaining about Lamar Jackson, and he scored 22 points. Boo-hoo. Stephon Achane with a down game for 18.5. Puka fucking Nakua. JSN puts up a crazy game, and then Nakua just has to beat him. It's just annoying. Boo, Nakua. Yeah, just, great games from Jason again. And Andrew, pretty sure still made playoffs. So, in the end, didn't matter all that much. Andrew's in a similar spot with me, I believe. He's got Kamara. I was going to say, he's got Kamara. He's got a similar spot with me where he doesn't exactly have a running back, too. So, we'll see how our top running backs do in the playoffs, Andrew. Yay. But he's got George Pickens, who's been fucking phenomenal. And 3? I did not realize he'd gotten all the way up to wide receiver 3. That's wild. I know he had all those yards. Lots and lots of yards. Still like 400 yards less than JSN, but lots and lots of yards. Good on you, Pickens. Yeah, Andrew's team is built pretty similarly to mine in that we are being driven by our wide receivers. And Justin Jefferson is his third wide receiver. Justin Jefferson has been very disappointing this year, but as wide receiver 3, I can't really complain there. That's fine. Although 2 weeks in a row of the duds. Ugh. We'll see about Justin Jefferson. He's been a sad storyline. But yeah. So Jason beat Andrew, and that's what happened there. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to the savage slaughtering that ended a dynasty by their own destruction. Big Lou defeats Little Lou in a Zelli Bowl where he did not need to win because he was not going to make the playoffs regardless. But Lou desperately needed to win to make his playoffs, and he did not. So for the first time in the entirety of JoeSixPack, history has been made. Hallelujah, we've made it, folks. We have gotten to a playoffs with no Zellies in it. How has it taken this long? It's just amazing. I'm not necessarily happy about it. I'm happy about the history of it. This is the first time we've never had a Zelli, that we've ever not had a Zelli in the playoffs. And there's finally new people. There's new people who could win. Most of them are old people, but most of them aren't. The newer folks. This is the new era coming up. I guess I'm the old era. Shit. Me and Andrew, we're the old guard. Everyone else is new. Let's look at the playoff brackets. No, wait. I gotta look at the matchup itself first, of course. Lou and his obvious love for Cowboys that we all know he's harbored throughout his entire life. He's always been Cowboys cow. I have no idea what their chant would be. Just trying to think of him as something else like fly Eagles fly. Doesn't matter. He's always loved those Cowboys. That's why he says sarcastically here, fuck the Cowboys. Oh, Lou, we know the true feelings. They did not do well enough for him, though. Neither of them boomed. And his rookie running backs have not been good the last 2 weeks. Genti with only 5.8. Monangai with only 8.7. Even Emeka Mbuka, which Ekbuka, I never know how to say the last name properly. Emeka Ekbuka. Even Emeka, only 2.5. He's been on the snide for the last few weeks as well. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I think if Lou had made the playoffs, it wasn't going to really work out. I'm frankly amazed that Neil did as well as he did, but yeah, wow, 14.5 points from Denver to Baltimore's -2. Yet somehow, some way, Big Lou wins with 124-21 to 98.99, knocking his son out of the playoffs. He wouldn't let him win because that's not his style. He knew that little Lou was flying too close to the sun with all his playoff runs in a row. Had to put an end to that. So the Zelli dynasty has finally come crumbling down by its own making. And Saquon Barkley helped. And Harold Fannin and Gainwell. It was the right play. Big Lou. I love it. Put little Lou in his place. He deserves it. Well, let's look at those playoff brackets, shall we? Since they've now been finalized. You got Jason with your top bye, as said before. You got Matt with his second bye, the second place bye, as stated before. You've got does that make me the no? Who's the 3 seed? Seth is the 3 seed, right? Yes, Seth is the 3 seed. Why is he on the bottom then? Our playoffs are ordered weird. Anyway, Seth is is the 3 seed. Believe Andrew is the 6 seed. 7, 8, 6, 8, 6, 8, 6. Yeah. Andrew is the okay. So Andrew is the 6 seed rather. Seth is the 3 seed, and they're playing each other. I don't know why he's on the bottom though. I am the 4th seed, and Kevin is the 5th seed. And we got quite the matchup coming our way, Kevin and I. So let's look at it. Also, Matt, you need to go against Jason this week because this has been a tradition that has not been followed through the last few weeks. And I'm thinking of throwing in $20 just to have a weekly challenge. In fact, I've already announced it, we'll say. I don't know if I will have actually put it in the intro, but my plan is to put it in the intro. The weekly challenge this week, as announced by me, maybe Hero, I'm not sure. We'll see. Is bye, where the 2 bye-week players are going up against each other to see who has the highest score, and whoever does will win $20. This is the bonus you get for having a bye. Congratulations to you two. One of you will be $20 richer at the end of this, and I'm pretty sure that money's coming straight from me because the rest of it is already scheduled for the trophy shipping. So yeah, good luck to you guys. Put your lineups together. Don't take people off waivers, Leslie. Well, you can. You need to be able to win too. I take it back. Do whatever you want to do. Just score points. Who's going to win? It's going to be Jason. But who's going to win? We'll see. All right. Let's look at next week. Let's look at these matchups. Let's start with Seth versus Andrew, the 3 seed versus the 6 seed. Let's see. Seth has Baker Mayfield as his quarterback right now. Jaden Daniels back out. Well, he's been ruled out. That's right. So yeah, I guess that's an easy choice to make. Playing this Thursday, I'm worried about that Thursday game in Atlanta. Either it's going to be hugely scoring or very little scoring. We'll see. I'm thinking of taking Godwin out and putting Kincaid in, but that's my game. And I'll need to be talking shop there. Versus Andrew. So Baker Mayfield going against Atlanta. It's a good matchup for him. Versus Matt Stafford going against Detroit. It's a pretty good matchup for him too. Pretty evenly balanced projections there. Derrick Henry going against Cincinnati. That is a bonus. That's a plus matchup for him. Although maybe it won't be because now that Burrow is back, they actually are getting into shootouts where the team actually has to score again. So we shall see. We shall see. Versus Josh Jacobs going against Denver. It's a matchup. I give Henry the slight there. Then you got Henry for Seth. That is the slight there. Then Travis Etienne going against the Jets. Okay, that's a bonus for him. Versus Pacheco going against the Chargers. I think that 6.9 is valid. Now, will he play Pacheco? Likely not, because he has Alvin Kamara, who may or may not play still. That's right. He didn't practice on Wednesday. That's not looking good for you, Andrew. Ooh, it's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough one. Could play William. No, that only works if Jacobs is out. I don't know. Andrew, that's tough for you. That is a toughie. I think you're going into this week without a clear RB2, though. That's for sure. Same as me. Travis Etienne for Seth gets the plus there. Michael Wilson, if Marvin Harrison is out again. Going against Houston, though. Yeah, I don't know about that matchup, actually. If Marvin Harrison is out, then I think it might be a big match. But also it's Houston, and they have been shutting down every passing game they play against. So we'll see there. Negative matchup there. Versus George Pickens for Andrew going against Minnesota. Plus matchup there. So yeah, I'm going to give that one to Andrew. So that's 1 for Andrew and 1, 2, 3, 4 Seth so far. AJ Brown going against for Seth going against Las Vegas. That's a plus matchup, obviously. Man, Eagles, if you don't get back on the winning track again against Vegas, I think it's time to pack it in. Versus Jalen Waddle going against Pittsburgh. Probably about an even matchup, I'd say there. I'm going to give that edge slightly to AJ Brown. So that's 4 for Seth and 1 for Andrew. Stephon Diggs going against Buffalo. Now, will Diggs leave it in the zone, or will he leave it out of the top 50 wide receivers, which he has not been for the last couple weeks? I mean, that's tough. I mean, clearly they need to bounce back. Let's see, what did he do last time they played Buffalo? He had 23.6 points. That's pretty good. I think Stephon Diggs is going to bounce back. Justin Jefferson going against Dallas. Well, that is a plus matchup. Unfortunately, Justin Jefferson still has J.J. McCarthy as his quarterback. I'm going to grade this one as even. No, I'm going to give it to Diggs again. I got to give that to Diggs again. Another one for Seth. I think we know who I'm picking here. Dallas Goedert going against Las Vegas for Seth. George Kittle going against Tennessee for Andrew. Andrew gets that one. Hands down. Easy one there. Andrew has 2. Seth has 5, 6, something like that. Bam! Knight going against Houston for Seth. Deebo Samuel going against the Giants for Andrew. Texans are pretty good at shutting down the running game, too. Their defense is really good. Honestly, the Texans have been playing out of their minds for 5, 6 games straight now, I think. 6 wins in a row. Don't sleep on Houston. There's a reason why we had a hard time beating them earlier in the season. They were legit. Give this one to Deebo. Andrew has 3. Seth has 6. And then the kickers, the one that matters the most. Will Lutz versus Tyler Loop. Tyler Loop's going to have this one. Andrew gets that one. But not by much, because Tyler Loop's only And Miami going against Pittsburgh versus Tampa Bay going against Atlanta. Tampa Bay's got the edge there, clearly. Oh, I don't remember what the count is. What I'm going to say is that, wait, how? Doing quick math on the projections here in my head. Okay, I guess slightly. Look, these projections give Andrew the lead on this. I'm giving the projection lead to Seth, actually. I think Seth's going to win this one. Andrew, you had a good run. You had a good run, man. 2 championships in a row. That was a good run. I think it's time to let it go, though. Let it go, Andrew. Moving on. So I think Seth's going to win this one. The other game of note this week is me going against Kevin. I think this is going to be game of the week right here. I'll tell you right now. Kevin and I have split on the season, I think. Yeah, I think I beat him week 1. Let's look at it real quick. I think I beat him week 1. Yes, okay. I beat Seth week 2, I think. Maybe week 1. Yeah, I beat Seth week 1. Seth beat me week 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. No, week 12. He beat me week 12. So we're 1-1 on the season. So this is the tiebreaker to see who is the best between between Kevin and I this week, this season. Kevin, honestly, has really turned the season around. He was looking rough in the first half of the season, but Jackson Dart, the emergence of Jackson Dart has really been a boon for him. He's got Ted McMillan back in there. He's got Wan'Dale Robinson in there. Tyler Warren, that son of a bitch, one of the few tight ends you can actually trust. Kyle Pitts has somehow been one of those tight ends you can trust in the last few weeks. Well, last 2 weeks, I guess, with Drake London out. But that's the most important thing here, is you'll notice Drake London has been ruled out for week 15. So Kevin is going to be without his number 1 wide receiver for the 4th week in a row. It's been that long. I did not realize that. For the 4th week in a row, Kevin's going to be without his number 1 wide receiver. So that's a little rough for him. Good for me, though, especially since Kyle Pitts has been way better with Drake London out. So we'll see how that plays out. It's going to be an interesting Thursday night game. Is this still recording? Okay, it is. Good. All right. I was saying that was connecting to the server. It doesn't matter. All right. More technical difficulties. I don't know when that last recording would have cut off. So I'm going to assume it cut off somewhere around when I was saying, I like whoever set the burrow out of that grave nickname, because that's what I'm hoping he's going to do for my quarterback position in the playoffs. Now, did I set it? It does keep it from the prior season, though. I don't think Joe set any nicknames. Maybe I said it. Who knows? Whoever said it could work. It's going to help out. I'm not going to claim credit. I don't remember doing it, but also I don't remember half the shit that's happened in the last month or two. It has been a quarter. It has been a quarter this year. We're very crazy. Anyway, moving on. The matchups. That's right. We're on matchups for this week. Joe Burrow is going to burrow me out of that grave going against Baltimore. Cincinnati and Baltimore have this history of getting into these shootouts or getting into super tight games where nobody scores any points. I'm hoping it's the former, obviously. I really, really need it to be the former because he's got Jackson Dart going against Washington. Look, I'll give him the point there. All right. I'll give him the point. But that's only because I know that I'm going to win on my wide receiver, so it's okay. Jason, goodness gracious. Jonathan Taylor will also be going up against Seattle, the number 2 running defense on the season with no quarterback. Yes, this is all acting. I already knew this is the case, so it is what it is. I hope JT has a good game anyway. He's got Jahmyr Gibbs going against the Rams, which, granted, also a pretty tough matchup. So I'm just gonna say it's even, I guess. I think either of us could boom or either of us could bust with JT and Gibbs. So I'm gonna say that one's even. 1 point remains for Kevin. And then Chuba, my Chubba Bubba coming back. By the way, I never got to say Jonathan Taylor. The reason why I said his nickname to Prodigal Son is because he has his best seasons with me every time. His best seasons have always been when I've owned him. And has continued. I said that at the beginning of the year, and it has continued, and I love it. Chuba Hubbard has been more splitting the last week with has been splitting a lot more this last game against the Rams, where they beat the Rams, I will point out. So remember that, Panthers, when you give Chuba more carries and more involvement in the game, your team wins. And in football, what you want to do is win games, right? So I think that you should forget about that Rico Dowdle guy. I mean, he's not even in our fantasy playoffs anymore. He's dying on lose team somewhere. I think you should give all the runs to Chuba. So I think this is going to be a big Chuba game. Going against New Orleans, which is exactly why love it. Yes, that's exactly what I needed. I need that game. That game needs to be big for me. He's got Tony Pollard, and Kevin's got Tony Pollard going to San Francisco, which is a tighter matchup. Now, I know the projection says it here. All right, I'll just give it even. I'll give it even. I wanted to say that I'm very hopeful that Chuba should have the better projection there, but he had one good game since getting more of an even share again. So we'll see. Here's where the rubber meets the road, though. JSN going against Indianapolis. A good defense, don't get me wrong. But also, they have no quarterback. And they have their running back. And they could definitely put up points regardless. And if we're going against Felipe Rios, Philip Rivers, for anyone who doesn't know the meme joke, I can't wait to see that game. That game's going to be hilarious. I hope we don't injure him. He's got to be like 53 by now. I don't know. How old actually is he? I'm not going to look it up on my computer because I'm worried about, technical difficulties, but 44 years old. He's actually not as old as I thought he was. But he's 44 years old, 5 years out of the league, Phillip Rivers. I can't wait to see that game. That's going to be a fun game to go to. Cannot wait. I think JSN's going to scorch on it. Devonta Smith going up against Las Vegas. Obviously, that's a plus matchup for him, but JSN's plus matchup is way bigger. And JSN really needs like 140 something yards to keep his pace. Maybe it's like 130 something yards to keep his pace for the record. And I think he's going to top that. I think he's going to get back and get like around 200 yards and get back to the like 140 or 110-ish yards per game he needed before he had that one like 43-yard game. Jamar Chase, I also think is going to have a huge game because T. Higgins might be out and they are going to need to be shooting at Baltimore against Baltimore. So let's go. Tedero McMillan is going up against New Orleans, though, so that is a downside. Hopefully they just run the ball a lot. I think you do that, right? Right? Just run the ball, guys. Right? Don't mind me stalling for a second while I look something up. It's considered an even matchup. That's interesting for against New Orleans. And Indianapolis is considered a plus matchup for us. JSN, let's get those yards, man. Let's get that unexpected. Let's get that unexpected breaking of the NFL record for most yards in a season. Do it. I'm going to give the edge to Jamar Chase on this one. So that's 2 for me and 1 for Kevin because we call the running backs both even. Khalil Shakir going against New England. This is a better matchup for him. How did he do when they played the last time? He did 9.5 points. I mean, for wide receiver 3, that would be fine. I'd be okay with that. When did they do against Washington? Wan'Dale Rams had 10 points against Washington, but that was the beginning of the season, so it's pretty different now. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I got to give the edge to Wan'Dale on this one. So Kevin has 2, I have 2. Kyle Pitts, again, going against Tampa Bay versus Tyler Warren going against Seattle. But why is his projection so low? Oh, because he hasn't done much the last 3 weeks, and now they don't have a quarterback. That's right. Oh. Ooh. I'm going to give myself a point on this. Kyle Pitts is go, baby. Be the man that everyone thought you should be. 3 for me, 2 for Kevin. Godwin. Okay. These are 2 interesting plays right here because I did not expect this. Marvin Harrison going against the Texans is what Kevin's going with in his flex right now. And Chris Godwin is going against Atlanta in that Thursday night game, but I am considering putting in Dalton Kincaid instead. What did he do against New England? Well, so Kevin still has an empty bench spot, and he should probably deal with that, but I'm not going to remind him. 16.3 against New England. Man, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that one. I got 24 hours to think about that one. Fingers crossed. And then Kevin doing Marvin Harrison against the Texans instead of, did he? No, against nothing. There's no one else he could really play in here though. So I guess that makes sense. I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm going to say this is even right now because I'm not sure how I'm going to play it. So what did I say? 3 for me, 2 for Kevin? Something like that. Brandon Aubrey going against Minnesota on Sunday Night Football. Oh, hell yes. Aubrey does great in primetime because the Cowboys fall apart on their drives in primetime and everyone laughs at them. But then they kick field goals and everyone, well, me, celebrates. Versus, what's this guy's first name? I forget now. Cam Little. I was right. Okay, Cam Little. I don't care if this projection is even. Obviously, the Kick King gets the edge there. That's 4 for me. Oh, that's why I'm playing Pittsburgh, because they get to play against Miami this week. Then they have to play Detroit, unfortunately. But then they get Cleveland the week after that. So Pittsburgh's probably going to be my defense going forward. And the Chargers, going against Kansas City with a projected negative points. I don't think Kevin's going to stick with them. I mean, maybe, but I don't think he's going to. At least for the time being, I'm giving myself the edge. So it's all coming together for old Bob heading into the playoffs. And I'm going to say I'm going to win this one. The projections call it. I call it. The American people call it. although they don't know shit about shit these days. When it comes to voting for things. I realize that could be taken both ways. Ignore me. And I don't feel like talking about politics when there's literally no one else here to talk about it with. That feels very strange. So I think I'm going to win. My projections are that I'm going to win and that Seth's going to win. And then I guess I, as the highest seed, would go up against the lowest seed. So I'd play Matt next week if I win. No, if Seth wins, he'll play Matt and I'll play. Fuck. I'll play Jason. If Seth wins, I'll play Jason. If Andrew wins, I'll play Matt. And the same is true for Kevin, because we're 4 and 5. So if Kevin wins, then if Kevin and Seth win, then Kevin plays Jason, Seth plays Matt. And yeah. If Andrew wins, then he always plays Jason no matter what. Doesn't matter who else wins. So that's how the winner's bracket plays out. How does the loser's bracket play out? Let's look real quick. Just a real quick, brief look. Now, remember, in the loser's bracket, the toilet bowl, you get flushed to the next round if you lose. So if you win, you're out of the tournament, and that's the good thing. If you lose, you move on. So the two lowest teams this year were Big Lou, despite knocking Little Lou out of the playoffs. It's just so wild to see. Lou, John, all in the toilet bowl. Wild. So Big Lou gets the bye, which means he gets automatically flushed to the next round. And then the worst team in the league this year has been Joe. I don't think there's any really argument there, and I don't think he would disagree. He gets flushed to round 2 as well for his crap bye. We'll say it's a crappy bye. They do not count in the bye weekly challenge. That is only for the 2 winners. The 2 actually good teams. But we got Jay-Z going up against Sean. I'm not going to break this down, but I think Jay-Z is going to... No, I think Sean's going to win this one. Yeah, why not? I think Sean's going to win it. Just looking real quick here. What do we see? We see some matchups, some football players playing football games. That's pretty evenly matched. I mean, I'm going Sean. John, I think you're going to continue in the toilet bowl, which maybe we should rename it to the Zelly Bowl. I don't know. And maybe if we get a Zelly Bowl as the final game this year, I think we should rename the Vinny to the Zelly. Anyone agree with me? All I need is a second, and I'll put it to a vote. And then we got Lou. His sad little existence, not in the playoffs. Poor Lou. I don't feel bad at all, though. Not making the playoffs for the first time in like a bajillion years. And playing Pete in the first round. Pete, who still was never able to get anyone to take one of his quarterbacks. And it's a good thing nobody did. Who's going to win this one? Lou. I think Lou's going to win. And that means Pete will go through. That's what my brain thinks. My heart thinks it's going to be the other way around, and Pete's going to win and continue to send the Zellies down the bowl. I want to see a Zelly Bowl, Vinny. That's what I want to see. That would be rather amusing. Best amusing thing to happen. All right, that's it. Good job, everyone who made it in the playoffs, and I'm sorry for anyone who didn't. Once again, a reminder, there will be Bye, the Week 15 weekly challenge. I don't think there will be any weekly challenges after this. I just wanted to throw something else in of my own money so that the bye week plays each other for something. So only people eligible for it are Matt and Jason. So both of you guys set your lineups. Make sure you do that so that I can figure out who wins and you can get $20. So congrats to you for making your buys. And congrats to everyone else for playing in Joe's Six-Pack. Thank you, fellas, for being here and listening to me all year, especially since it's been mostly me. And I apologize for that. But it's kind of all on you guys. I mean, I can't control when you're here or not. So, good luck to everyone in the playoffs. And except for Kevin. And keep it real, folks. Bob out. Mic drop.